You want to do blacks behaving badly? Okay. Let's start with from yesterday's notes.
Okay.
Actually, that could include South Africa.
That could.
That would be racism, I guess. But no, they are behaving very, very badly. Okay, good. I think this is God's way of saying, we're good now. We're even after the motorcycle thing. I want to hear what you... Let do your thing, Gav. Do your thing, is what he's saying. Okay, God, I'll do my thing. And my thing is... Today's notes, okay. 1-5. So was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Trump pulled out a video. And he showed that there is a massive problem with genocide of white farmers going on. It's not genocide. I've noticed a lot of Jews getting mad, even my friends getting mad at the word genocide. I think they want to keep like Holocaust genocide to themselves. What is a genocide? To me, a genocide is specifically targeting a particular demographic for murder. Because it's ethnic cleansing. I don't know if there's a difference between ethnic cleansing and genocide. But it is a well thought out mass murder. And it is bizarre seeing the left bend over backwards to find excuses for these horrific murders. If you go to the Compound Censored Twitter account, you can see a link to Katie Hopkins and Lauren Southern's documentaries. They're not for the faint of heart. Do not watch them if you're eating dinner. But suffice to say that it's really bad. But what these dummies are doing now is they're ignoring per capita. And they go, there's lots of murders in South Africa, okay? It's the murder capital of the world right now. And most of the people dying are black. Yeah. Like most lions that get bit to death are killed by lions. Polar bears eat polar bears, especially if they don't like the cubs or if they're hungry. These rats are constantly eating rats. So yes, blacks in South Africa are constantly killing other blacks, but the whites do a little bit better than them. I'm not even getting the per capita argument yet. They do a fair amount better than them because they have the most insane security systems. Every South African's home, every white South African's home, I should say, looks like a prison. It's got steel gates, it's got razor wire, it's got electric wire, and the electric fences. And then there's guns and all kinds, and there's different layers. And then even if they can make it to the house, the rooms have bars. The rooms are individually locked. And yes, they manage to live. So it's like saying that the people in Walking Dead, they're fine. Most of the people that are doing badly in Walking Dead are zombies. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that there's not a problem going on. Just because it's sort of like the war on Christmas in a sense. They go, well, Christmas is still around. Yeah, it's not doing great. It's getting attacked. I know, even if it is doing great, it still doesn't mean it's not being attacked. And then, of course, the per capita argument, which has become the most complex mathematical concept since E equals MC squared, which is there's obviously not a lot of there's a lot of white farmers in the farming community, but as far as like the population of any city, any country, anywhere, yeah, the farmers are going to be a small portion of that because they need lots and lots of land. You go to the projects and you can fit 10,000 Puerto Ricans in one building. You go to rural Wisconsin and there's only a few dairy farmers every 100 miles. Can you grasp that concept? Okay, now I have something else to try to explain to you. People are getting in their vehicles and going out to those Wisconsin dairy farmers and torturing them to death with the complicity of the South African government. Go, do it. Shoot the ball, shoot to kill.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining.
And we've seen, and I think it's in the Lauren Southern documentary, you see them with these strange sticks sticking out of their backpack. Those are very expensive pieces of technology that are cell phone jammers. They have been supplied by the South African government. I mean, it's the president there, Cyril, what's his name? Ramaphosa. He's not a communist, but he's a socialist, same thing. And everyone's putting it on Julius Malema. Is that his name? Yeah, Julius Malema, and saying he's the head of the Communist Party. Of course, he wants to take all the land and then repackage it and decide who gets what. From, a black doctor's apartment to a rich, mogul's compound. But that doesn't mean Cyril isn't talking about the same kind of shit. Cyril's also talking about land claims. So to say most of the crime is not the white farmers is the dumbest thing in the world. All right? They are maybe white farmers, not just whites. They do that too. They go, whites are doing fine. Yeah, how are white farmers doing? We didn't just say whites. But you guys all know this. Anyway, let's watch the American leftist media trip over themselves to defend this because someone up top told them to say the word ambush. I assume you've seen this, but let's record it for posterity.
To the dramatic scene in the Oval Office today, the tense confrontation, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
Next, another Oval Office meltdown, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
President Trump is being accused of conducting something of a diplomatic ambush of South Africa's president in the Oval Office.
To be with you, I'm Katie Tur. President Trump orchestrated another Oval Office ambush today.
Today, Donald Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate that leader.
Zelensky territory, where essentially he was a bit ambushed inside the Oval Office.
There must be a code when they get these dictums where the word we really want you to say will be in bold and red. Because I assume, I've heard that the DNC puts out like a newsletter and it pretends just to be a newsletter, but it really is talking points for the leftist media that day. But of all the words, they all chose ambush. This is just like collusion, existential threat. So the magic word must be bold or bold red. Red ink costs a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's even possible that it also says, make sure you say the word ambush. Because these dummies might not be able to handle a clue as simple as bold. But go ahead.
Office.
Felt like an ambush in there, kind of like the President Zelensky meeting in the Oval Office.
This was an ambush. It was orchestrated.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush.
What started as, to some degree, an ambush.
Well, Katie, I mean, it was an ambush.
Ambush.
Ambushed.
Ambush.
An ambush.
Ambushing.
Ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Amazing. This is what's so great about Twitter. When they f*** up like this, we can shove it in their face. CNN would like you to know that shoot the boar, shoot to kill the farmer. What did farmers have to do with apartheid? Wasn't that more of a bureaucratic, urban thing? I don't think the farmers were heavily involved in apartheid. But CNN says that chant is an anti-apartheid chant. And if you want to know why just talk to the experts in Kenya? Want to know about Canada? You may want to ask someone in Scotland.
Larry, has been debate over that song, that anti-apartheid chant, right? And for people who don't have a historical context, it does potentially appear more literal. Talk to us about the debate that has happened inside of South Africa with the recognition of how it appears to people when they hear those words.
Look at their serious faces. Yes.
It is an inflammatory song, without a doubt. And many in South Africa, even black South Africans, don't think it should be sung in a post-apartheid world, 30 years plus after apartheid. But there are many who grew up under those years of white minority rule who understand the historical context of this song, Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer, that Julius Malema has made popular again. It sort of fell into disuse. It's not been that commonly sung after the end of apartheid in 1994, but it's brought it back again to reanimate the issue of the majority of land in South Africa still being owned by white farmers.
I mean, that's a real stretch. So, and the implication there is that it was willed to them. They didn't earn it. It was stolen from the blacks. We've said this 900 times. There was no land ownership there. It's not really arable. It's sort of like the Clive and Bundy terrain with tumbleweeds everywhere, and they managed to irrigate it and create farmland, which was a miracle. And now I want it back. Now, there were some Zulus down there. What did Pat Buchanan say? Who would integrate better into American culture, 1,000 Englishmen or 1,000 Zulus? There were some Zulus, and as AIU will point out, the old, what is it now, Botas, they learned, Peter Botha and the grandfathers of the founding fathers of that country, they learned Zulu and corresponded with the Zulus. And they bought the land fair and square. I heard it was legal to kill Zulus. It was for a moment, after the Zulus completely ignored a peace and land negotiation where they agreed to sell them this land and not fight anymore. And then the Zulus at the signing chopped everyone's heads off. They said, all right, well, now it's on. So 1-7 is I think it's the Krasenstein brothers who have been hired to, create dissent with the right and the left. And they want you to know that way more blacks die. I've already explained the problem with this rationale. I think one of the reasons God is sending us here on Memorial Day is to say, this is not what our guys died for. And I know this is South Africa, but what he's saying is, here in America, this idea of scoffing at genocide. So facts, white people make up 7.3% of South Africa's population, but they account for just 1.8% of all murder victims. Now, that is because of their razor wire, and you've skipped from the white farmers over to the white people. So now you get all those rich Cape Town residents who can afford security. That means black South Africans are far more likely to be murdered than whites by a wide margin. The data proves it. Trump's fear-mongering isn't just fake. It's designed to stoke racial division, which is exactly what he's doing right here.
So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.